So then at age 21, then you came to the U.S.
22.
22?
Yeah.
And where did you come directly to the U.S.?
No, I went directly to Southern California, and the reason I went to Southern California is because my father had family in Southern California who had immigrated many, many years ago. His sister married an American aviator, a pilot during the war, and they moved here. And my father wanted to come to the United States for a long time. So we came to Southern California, and in Southern California, I started in the wine business, importing wines from France and selling wines, but that was not what I wanted to do. And I decided to go back and play, and after I was paralyzed for about a year, I couldn't use my legs after my accident, and I started playing. After a year, I was able to play again. I got the okay to play, and I played with a semi-pro in Southern California for about 2 years. But then my back kept giving me problems, and I had to stop. And I felt that the best way to keep on going was to go into coaching. So I took my first C license many years ago in California.
Yeah.
Because I had to have it. And from there, I coached a semi-pro team in Southern California for about 3-4 years. From there, I went into the college ranks, and I coached a college for 5 years and high school. And we won the California State Championship. We won. I was Coach of the Year for 3 years in a row. And just to twit my own horn, I am in the Hall of Fame of Southern California, Ventura County. So I got, OTP coach, Region 4 coach. So I made coaching my life.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was not, unfortunately the compensation was non-existent. It was very, very minimal. But as I kept going and kept on coaching, it became more rewarding. Not only the compensation, but the higher level, especially in California, when you have 2.5 million players, soccer players.
A lot of players there.
Yeah.
A lot of soccer.
Yeah.
And they've really, in California especially, they've really, I think when you look at the number of players they have and the number of players that they put in the national side and so many things, they really led the way, haven't they?
Oh yes, Southern California has been, Southern California and a bit of the East Coast have really been the pilots, to really promote soccer.
Yeah. So when you left California, where did you go from there?
Well, I was at my 6th year of college. I decided that my children needed a change of environment. They really did. Southern California, Los Angeles area was not conducive for my children's upbringing. And then I noticed that reading a magazine, I noticed that there was an offer for a director of coaching in South Dakota. So I applied for the job, and I got a response, and they were very interested. And what was the ironic part of it was the person who had my first pre-interview asked me, I said, "Do you have any idea where South Dakota is?" I said, "No." And that person said, "Do you know that it gets very, very cold in South Dakota?" I mean, you're in Southern California. I said, "No, right now, because the first interview was in March, so it was pretty cold in March in Sioux Falls." And she said, "Right now it's about maybe 10 degrees, -5 degrees." And my response to that was, "Don't you guys wear clothes or warm up?" And, I was to me it was very, very strange that a person would ask a question, and I really did not realize what South Dakota was about.
Yeah.
So I came from my first interview. Second interview was back in Southern California. They brought me back in Sioux Falls to do some training sessions to start looking at the community. And at that moment, obviously, the earthquake took place in Southern California. My children were involved in a very, very bad situation. I mean, not themselves, but the environment. And I said, "Back and go."
Yeah.
And I went to Sioux Falls.
And about what year was that?
That was the first interview, January 1994, and I was in Sioux Falls, April of 1994. Okay. April 1st, 1994.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did you find there when you got to, and that was with Dakota Gold, right?
Yep, that was for Dakota Gold. I was impressed with some of the players, and I was unfortunately a bit a lot of improvement needed to happen. And I came, I came as a very strong personality. I was going to change the world, and that did not go very well because it was a different culture. I learned to adapt, and I found out that the Sioux Falls soccer players were great athletes, but we needed a different direction. The technical aspect of the game needed to be improved, needed to be advanced, and that was my mission, was to make soccer players rather than kids who play soccer.
Yeah.
So, and it was very rewarding to me.
Well, it didn't take very long for you then, once you got there, to take a team to nationals, right? The only team from South Dakota ever.
Correct. That's correct. 1999, 5 years after that, we took, obviously we won regionals with a team called Clash at the U13 level, the only team that ever won a regional championship.